Yeah, it's 3:30. 65% humidity and just above freezing, about 35. Hello everybody. Hey, I'm getting ready to go in and edit a video I made of me starting my chainsaw. I know that sounds silly, doesn't it? But you'd be surprised how many people flood their chainsaws every stinking time they start them. Then they have to let them sit for an hour, and then they start them. Or worse off, they start taking them apart, trying to figure out why they won't start. Anyway, I've got a Poulan chainsaw, and actually I bought it for the price. I bought it at Lowe's probably 3 years ago. And I got the chainsaw, an extra chain, and a carrying case for, I think it was like less than $150. I went in to buy a Echo, because I had an Echo. I wore it out. I just literally wore it out. And it wasn't worth fixing anymore. And it wasn't big enough, really. So I went and bought me a pretty good size Poulan. And another little thing is, when you go out to buy a chainsaw, unless you're only going to use it once and throw it away, buy something with a little meat to it. The bigger the engine, the less trouble you're going to have. And that's not just for power. Most of them have enough power for normal use. But the bigger the chainsaw, yeah, it's going to be a little bit heavier. But the carburetor is going to be bigger. The orifices are going to be bigger. It's going to have a bigger filter in it. It's just going to be a better chainsaw for you. That's all. So buy yourself something with that comes standard with a 16-inch or more bar. That means that they'll put a bigger engine on it. I'd say if you're picking out one, unless money is just really important to you, if you just need a little one, get an electric one. Take your generator out and run off of that, something. But for a small chainsaw, I'd go with electric, unless you're going to have to climb a tree with it, and then you're going to be, you're going to have to buy something worth some bucks, and you're going to have to take very good care of it. The problem is, if you have a big chainsaw and a little one, if you're like me, the first thing you're going to grab is that lightweight chainsaw, and you're going to use it 90% of the time. So anyway, I'm going to show you this Poulan. It was a little bit different than some chainsaws. The choke and the on button are hooked together, so when you pull out on the choke, it automatically turns on the ignition. You don't have to do that. You can take your finger and flip it up. It's a red button. You can flip it up. You'll see it in that video, I hope. And but when you go to first start it, I'm going to go through this, but then you're going to see it for real. What you need to do is choke it, prime it first. There's a little prime button on most chainsaws now. And what you're doing there, you're not priming it like you used to do an old Rotac engine or something. What you're doing is you're just circulating the gasoline through the carburetor. It's not really going directly into the cylinders. And what that does, it gets all the air out of the carburetor if it's set for any length of time. And then pull out on the choke all the way, give it a couple pulls, and you'll probably hear it pop once. It'll try to start and then stop. That's your key right there. Don't choke it after that, except for maybe half a choke. So most chokes have two stages. You can pull it and then pull it again, and that's full choke. Full choke it, pull it about 2 or 3 times, whatever it takes to get it to pop, and then push the choke in halfway, and then start it. Okay? And then when you say if you're out there sawing and you're just going to stop it for a while and then come back, don't choke it at all. Just start it. That's my advice to you. Take it or leave it. Nothing worse than a flooded 2-cycle engine. A 2-cycle engine has a lot of oil in it, which makes the gasoline harder to explode. And they're very easy to flood. Once you flood them, then the gas does evaporate, but the oil doesn't. So now you're getting more and more oil and less gas. So try not to flood them. That's the big thing. If it starts pulling real easy, you probably flooded it. It is full of oil. The only thing you could do there is either take out the spark plug or just give it time. and let it sit for a little bit and then start it. But the best thing is not to flood it to begin with. That's easier said than done, right? I've flooded a lot of them. Well, welcome to my toy box, where we keep all of our things, including Christmas decorations, bicycles, but important stuff, chainsaws. I can honestly say that's one of the best chainsaws I've ever owned. And one of the cheapest ones I've ever owned, believe it or not. I think I gave like $150 for that. Came with an extra chain. And I've ran it quite a while. I like it. I like it a lot. It's big enough that the carburetor and stuff in it's got some orifices that don't plug up as badly as those small chainsaws. For a long time, I would want to buy a little chainsaw, but it's just hard to keep them clean, the inside of the carburetors. So if you get a little bigger engine, even though you're going to have a little more weight, you're going to have a lot less trouble. Okay, we're going to go over this chainsaw real quick. Like I said before, it's a Poulan Pro PR 4218. Then we've got this. We've got the hieroglyphics in that thing. Wow. Kind of confusing, eh? Maybe we should read the manual? Anyway, it's pretty easy. We got this trigger down here. Makes it go fast. Got the safety here so that you can only trigger it once. So you can't rev it up without touching it. So you know you got a hold of it. Got two knobs, that's it. Stop. You push down on it to stop it, pull up on it. But notice, this is a choke. It's got a halfway mark and a full. You pull out on hard and it pops up. It turns it on, actually. You push it in halfway, still on. See? So what I'm going to do, you'll see me doing it, but I can't talk to you when I'm doing it, making too much noise. What I'll do is I'll pull this out once I've got it all gassed up and oiled and everything, which I'm going to show you. Then I'm going to pull on this cord, hang on to it with my left hand up here, or whichever hand you want. I just stay away from the chain as much as I can. Put it up there, put it on the ground, pull on it, start it, try to start it, pull on it until you hear it go bump. It'll make it. You'll hear it ignite once. As soon as it does that, stop pulling on it. Push that in halfway, and go ahead and start it. And once it starts, let it run for a little bit. Let it start running, and you'll start seeing smoke come out of it, because on this way you're using a lot more gas, but it's warming up the engine. The piston's going to expand. It's going to get more and more compression, and the more and more compression it gets, the better it's going to run. So sometimes I'll even actually see, even in a halfway mark, as soon as you touch the accelerator, that's what I call that, the accelerator, it pushes that in. Watch. I push it in halfway, it's running. And as soon as I touch this, it goes in, takes the choke off for you automatically. People that made this, I don't know, maybe they were in China, I don't know. They knew what they were doing when they made this. And then when you're running, to kill it, you don't have to look around for a toggle switch, you just push down on this. Got it? It's pretty simple. Main thing is to keep that away from you. And it has the kick bar here. If the saw come up to hit you, like if you hit something and it jerked up, your hand would hit this and stop. Instantly stop that chain. This thing is great. So it wants to be pulled back to run. More hieroglyphics. Bad thing about without writing stuff down, you don't really know what these mean until once you figure out what these mean, you've already figured it out. So now that I've told you this, if you go buy a chainsaw like this, this will all make sense. I did leave out something. When it's cold like this pump right here, think of this like a fuel pump. It's going to pump fuel into the carburetor, and once the carburetor is full, the carburetor will automatically dump it back in the tank. So you want to pump that up, and what that does, it gets all the air out of the carburetor. So those little diaphragms in there that pump, if they're thrown like this and there's air under them, it takes a long time. So pushing on this a few times is a whole lot easier than pulling on this a whole lot of times. Remember, this circulates gas through your carburetor, gets it ready to run. That right there. Once it's started, you shouldn't have to do that again. Remember, this is a cold start. This is a motor that's dead cold. Okay, we're going to start this cold engine. What do I do first? It's cold. Pump this. It's your primer. Pull this all the way out. Watch the stop button. There you go. Okay, and now I'm going to pull it till it pops. It may take one pull, it might take four. I don't know. Put your knee on it. Hold it down. There you go. Okay, well, normally it doesn't start that easy, but now I'm going to let it run half throttle. Or, I mean, with the choke half out, okay? Choking it. Chokes all the way in. Okay, it's been running. Let's say it was running a while. You want to start it, just pull this out, push it back in. Then you start it. Alright? Let's see if it'll start. It didn't run very long, but it's warmer than it was when it started. This chainsaw, until you hit the accelerator, it will actually run a higher idle. This is a very well made machine. Get yourself one. Hey. Okay, remember what I did? I've already pumped this, but I'll do it just for show. I'm going to pull out on this all the way. Red knot went up. This is back so that it's loose, so it'll run. I usually put my foot up here, my knee, just to hold it. I don't want this thing jumping on me. Simple as that. Works on almost any 2-cycle. So I hope this video helps somebody. I love this little Poulan chainsaw. I've worn out about I think about 4 chains with it, which means that tells you that I used it quite a bit. It's very easy to use once you learn how to start it. The directions don't tell you how to start it correctly. They tell you to always choke it, even when it's hot. They just say pull out on the choke. Well, that turns on the ignition, but you can pull out on the choke and push the choke back in, and it's still on. And that's what you need to do if it's hot. If it's been running for any length of time, you don't need to choke it. So I'm going to put on this video, and hopefully it'll help you. It's been a nice winter so far. We got a little bit of snow. I give you a little picture of what I got out here. The snow's about all gone now. I got some more videos coming up of me working in a cabin. Those are mostly do-it-yourselfers for indoors. But my heart really lies in 2-cycle engines or 4-cycle engines. I just like to hear them start up. It's like bringing them to life, you know. I hope you're had a good year. It's now 2021. Today's January the 5th. Like I say, it's about 35 degrees out. About 60% humidity. Snow's melting. We got all the Christmas lights down, and my daughter and I were over at the cabin just to make sure everything was not frozen, and then I'd left everything the way it was supposed to be. You know, I got one baseboard heater in the bathroom on, very low, and I've got a light on in my pump house over there, which keeps the water at about 45 degrees, and hopefully everything's okay over there. I did finish the walls and the ceiling in the kitchen. I'll have a video. That may be the next video I put up. I'm going to be around the house for a week or so because my wife had to have an operation on her shoulder, so I'll have to hang around here for a while till she can manage to get around by herself, and then I can leave her for a day or two. So got lots and lots and lots of ash trees out here to cut down, and most of the ones that have already fallen I've cut up. I'm going to have to drop a few of them. And the next video I'll show you dropping one of them. And anyway, thanks for watching my videos. And make sure you hit the I'd love for you to hit the like button if you like it, or hit the unlike button if you don't like it. I don't care. But the like button, I guess it makes it come up on other people's recommended videos, so you don't have to hunt for me. And subscriptions are very important. I'm trying to get 3,000 subscribers. It's been a long, long, long journey. I don't have the personality for entertaining. So, oh yeah, I've started making videos about some of these little things I see on Facebook. I think they're so funny, and I'll say, "Oh, I'm going to show you this. You haven't seen this," and then, sure enough, I can't find it because you know they just keep stacking on top of each other, and Facebook kind of buries them. So lately I've been saving them, and then I made one just recently of some of the ones that I really liked, and I thought it would take me months to find another one, but Facebook I thought it would be over with by now, but Facebook is just cruising along, man. There's a lot of people on Facebook. Once this election's settled for once and for all, one way or the other, it'll probably slow down. I recently started a Parler, so you can follow me on Parler, Mike Meier DIY, or you can follow me on Facebook, Mike Meier DIY. I'm not sure how I'm going to find you. I guess I could search you when you make a comment. Every time you make a comment, I subscribe to your channel if you have one, and a lot of times I subscribe to them. And I really do appreciate you subscribing. It doesn't cost anything. You just click on it, and boom, you're there. So thank you very much. You don't need to. If you want to, you can hit the bell so it tells you when I make a new video, or just subscribe to me and come back whenever you want. Talk to you later. Bye.